Hey guys, I'm Conan DeWalls, and welcome to Have Truck Will Travel. I guess I should mention a little bit about myself. 40 years, about 40 years as an owner-operator, and so I've been around trucks a lot. And I'm all the way down south here in this yard in Western Australia. And this is one of the stars of the show, which is a 1976 Volvo G88 prime mover. They call them prime movers down here. Um, let's see, where should I start? Let's do a walk around. I got this truck quite a while ago, and it was in pretty poor condition. All the grill and everything was busted out of it. The original grill, let me stay out of the sunlight here. The original grill was just like a small square deal that went across the front, and it had Volvo written on it. And then if you look here, you can see the original, there's a bottom door that went below the grill. And you can see the original bottom door down here that I used to make this grill with. And this grill was all made by hand, just with basic tools, basic hand drill, rivet gun, pop rivets. But it took me about 6 weeks to do on the kitchen floor. I forget how many years ago. So I made the grill, and then I did the bumper to match. Now all this diamond plate here is from the US. They don't have diamond plate like this down here. They have a thing called tread plate. And instead of this like diamond looking look here, it's just like 3 treads running this way and 3 treads running that way and then 3 this way, and that's why they call it tread plate. So anyway, after that, I decided to add this front cover, and that's held up really well. I mean, I had that made up about, it must be 10, 12 years ago. And it's held up through all the UVs. Let's walk around this way. You can see I got the window all covered in and everything for storage. But this is just where it's being stored right now this is a friend's yard. And coming around this way, you can see it's winter down here. You can see the moss growing on the front cover. But the cab was in really poor condition. The whole truck was in poor condition. There was a lot of rust, especially up around the roof there, all the way around, from the sun visor all the way sides, around the back, and then all the way back to the other side. I mean, there was actual holes in the metal. And I've kind of got it's all patched up. I wouldn't say it's it's been restored. But it's all patched up and holding up nicely. That's why I got that cover up on top. Because it's been raining a lot down here lately. And when it rains here, it seems to be really, I don't know, it seems to be really extra soggy. But what I've been doing, so I patched up the roof, and I've decided nothing's a work of art anymore. Everything is just a work, not a work of art, you know? I don't do works of art anymore because you can get really crazy about the stuff, you know? So I patched it up, and if you look really close, I don't know how good this will show up, but you can see the brush marks because I've been repainting it with a paintbrush. Now, I think it's fairly decent paint, but you can still see the brush marks. But I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit it with some 600 grit and see if I can. I mean, I don't mind it. I like the way it looks, and I'm happy with it, you know? But I think I will hit it with some 600 and just smooth it a little bit, and then maybe do another coat just to see how it comes out. Oh yeah, by the way, this is model number G88, 1976 Volvo G88. Now she needs a bit of engine work, but I've got a few other priorities first that I need to take care of. And so basically, the priorities that need to be done in order for me to rock and roll out of here. So there is some engine work to do. Let's go around the back of the cab here. These trucks down here in Australia were an icon. I mean, no lie. I mean, I was down here in the 80s and not working. I was just down here and visiting some family and some other things like that. And these trucks really were an icon, and they were an icon all over Europe too. But down here, I mean, you can hardly find one anymore. It's just there's a few guys that are restoring and like that, but I don't know what they've done with them all or where they've gone. But yeah, they've gone. So I got some engine work to do. She smokes a bit, white smoke. I got white smoke that comes out the stack. So I think I have a gasket problem. Head gasket maybe. But this has a really cool engine in it. You can't see much from here, but it's called a TD 100, which means turbo driven. I don't know what the 100 means, but it's about 300 horse, but it's geared very low. So when you're like pulling 2-3 trailers down here in Australia like they do, you've all Y'all know about the road trains down here. There's 2 or 3 trailers as a road train, and then they have the long vehicles, which is slightly shorter than a double trailer setup. But I really love this air tank cluster here. I think that just looks so awesome. We'll keep looking around. I've got plenty to do, but I got to get these priorities done first. And then I can concentrate on this truck for a while. Look at the sidewall on my steer tire from sitting. See the big crack there? DOT would love that. Oh, look at that one. I think that's fairly new. I haven't noticed that before. But I wouldn't drive it like that. Oh, there's another one. Look at that. See behind the weed there? You can see that. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I wouldn't drive it like this. It's one thing you don't want to mess with is steer tires. And all truckers know that. Don't play with steer tires if they're not solid. Gotta get it off there and get one that's decent. But the thing that upsets me, and it's really difficult, excuse me, with this cab is there's no cab jack. I mean, they were ahead of their time. This truck was ahead of its time. And you can see the suspension on the rear cab there. I mean, that came out way before air ride cab. I mean, look at that. But there's no cab jack. And I tell you what, it is harder than hell to lift this cab by hand. You gotta have 2 guys to be able to push the cab up, tilt the cab. But I did come up with an idea to help me if I'm on my own. And when I get around to the other side, out of the sun, I'll show you what that is. I've got a cooker here in case I want to cook a meal when I'm over here working on things. Yeah, it was all in very poor condition. I got it cheap. And I painted the fuel tanks. If you look at the paint now, it's got that faded look on it all along the frame. I painted all that quite a while ago. I painted all this, and it looked really good. But I only used spray can, and then after a while, the UVs just took all the moisture out of it. But it looked really beautiful when I first did it. It had a nice gloss and nice wet color, and it was a rare color too. You can see I need some drive tires, some better drive tires. I won't get new because I can't afford that. But I'm pretty sure I can pick up some used ones that are decent. Now, a very interesting thing about this truck is the rear suspension. See that big old equalizer there? This rear axle, you can actually lift it off the ground. Back then they used to call it a lazy axle down here, I think. But anyway, this was liftable, but it's a strange setup because there's an arm like that on each side, which goes down and pushes down on that big equalizer, and then that back axle pivots up off the ground. But I've never understood it because the positioning of the fifth wheel, it's centered behind the front axle. So if you lift the rear axle, then there's going to be too much weight on the front axle here. You see what I'm saying? I get a better shot here. The sun keeps shining in on the phone there and keeps taking away my view, so I really can't see what I'm showing you right now. I'll go around the other side, and then by the way, that's a hydraulic tank there that I had added on. A good fella did that for me. I was going to try and work the truck at one time, and then I thought, no, I had to get back up to the U.S. and take care of some things up there, and so I had too much going on up there to try and set up extra work overseas. Another thing about this cab, now even though this is a Swedish truck, or a Swede they call it, Volvo, I call it my Viking International, because the windshield and the doors, the side windows and the doors look a lot similar to an old International Emeryville. Take a close look and you can see what I'm talking about. International, that's, if you look from there up, I mean, look at that. That's an International Emeryville. So I don't know what's happened there. I think maybe they made a deal. I don't know. You know how it is in business. But that's why I call it my Viking International. But then in the show, this is also going to be known as Thunder Truck 1. Because I have 5 trucks. And I got a couple of superstars up there in the U.S. that you'll see in the next couple months or so. But there is a sleeper in this truck, believe it or not. It's not very wide, but underneath that side window, there's a bunk across there, and it's pretty comfortable. I've bunked in it a couple of times, and it's not bad at all. It ain't no walk-in, but hey, I've always liked cab overs, so I don't mind it. But the idea I came up for to lift the cab on my own is, you see that gray bar next to the stack there? I've got that cap on the stack to keep all the damn water out of there. What I do is I hook a small come-along into the top of that bar, and then I hook the other side into underneath that cross member there. And then that's how I winch the cab up when I'm on my own. So that's what I do with that. And I've got instead of a deck plate, I've got a deck pallet. It's pretty weather beaten. So I'm going to build a new one for that. I'm going to build a new one of those. I've got the lumber for it already. Then I'm going to redo that, build one that fits better. Like inside the frame, it'll fit in there. And it'll just be neater and tidier, and it'll look pretty nice when it's done. But anyway, let's see if we can get a better look at this axle setup. Oh, by the way, this is a 16 speed. I was saying it's geared very low. So if you want to pull two heavy trailers, you can do it. And it's got a 16 speed transmission. But the rear axle setup, let's see if I can get a good shot here. Somewhat right here. If you look down in there, so the arms pivot down, push down onto the top of those big equalizers. That pivot, this is it's cool, but I don't understand how it would work really well, but with weight and everything. So you see in there, so you can see the mark there with a wheel. See, these wheels turn, and you can see the mark where the wheel pushes down, and then this whole equalizer, I mean, this has got to be super strong to do this. Can you imagine the force? I mean, this is like bulldozer stuff. And then the big equalizers pivot on that big shaft there. You can see it just below that line. And then the axle comes in the air. But I don't see the point. Let me move back here, get a good shot at it. So with the fifth wheel, standard back behind the front axle, I mean, I guess you can use it when it's empty. And if you get stuck somewhere, I guess you can plow your way out. But I just don't see how you could use it with any kind of load. I could understand it if that fifth wheel was centered over this axle right here. Like if you had a light load on, you could maybe put 10 ton or 20,000 pounds on that one axle there. But it really is an awesome truck. I mean, I love the thing. It's just cool as all hell. And that's the introduction to Thunder Truck 1. I've got 5 trucks, like I was saying. And so I've got 3 tractors, 3 tractors, I've got a dually, and then I've got basically a little straight truck that I call Thunder Truck 3 that I'm working on. I'll introduce you to that truck next week or in the next video. And I'll head back around here and I'll show you the back bumper on this truck. And I'm just trying to think if there's any other comments. I gotta repaint this stripe. You saw the other side was a nice dark blue, where this side really took a beating from the UVs. Yeah, the UVs in the summer down here are just really intense. So I'll just give you a quick look. I got a couple of bicycles stashed under here to keep them out of the rain. The rear bumper is pretty awesome too. It's all super strong. Steel. You can see back behind that bicycle there, and I've got a pintle hook there to move dollies with. And after I do the video on Thunder Truck 3, I'll show you the rest of the equipment here that I'm trucking around with. But I built that pintle hook onto there. That wasn't on there originally. But once I get the mechanical issues worked out and some better tires on, and this is gonna be a really cool truck. All my trucks are, the newest truck I have is a 97, and that's an international. Mostly I'm an international guy. I've got 3 internationals and a GMC dually. Now wait a minute, just gotta think this through real quick. Yeah, 3 internationals, GMC dually, and then I've got this Volvo that I call a Viking International. Because like I said, that's an Emeryville. With just a few different touches on it, like these fenders. Okay guys, that's it for the first episode of the channel. And thank you so much, and have a good day.